Really looking forward to seeing what we have here and getting things underway, and it's going to be another fun and successful season.
Obviously, every year is a little bit different, but what do you think is the identity of your team this year?
Well, I think it's the experience and the culture that we've established over the last number of years. It's something that took a long time to create our culture. It can take a couple weeks to tear it all apart, and so we daily are focusing on that and our values and being tough, grateful, disciplined, and devoted, and for our players to have the best attitude they can and give the best work ethic that they can each and every day. And whether we win a national championship or not, the end goal is to be the best that we can be each and every day. And so it's going to be a long journey and a whole lot of fun, but we're looking forward to it.
How did you guys celebrate last year's title run, and just talk a little bit about how it just culminated the way the season went?
Yeah, we had gone out to Wisconsin at the end of the first half. Wisconsin, I think, was rated 1 or 2, and we were 1 or 2, and they ended up sweeping us, but the games were real close. They had beaten us in overtime when we were on the penalty kill, and then got an empty netter in the second game. And I was actually really encouraged by that weekend, knowing that we were one of the top teams in the country as well, and we were real close. I think when we came back in the second half, we were even better. And then having Amanda Kessel join our team with a month and a half to go was just a real big shot in the arm for our players and our program, and for her, knowing everything that she had been through. So adding a player like that to your team is at that point in the season is pretty neat. But it also allowed us to switch our lines up a little bit and become that much stronger. And I think our 3 lines were better than anybody else's 3 lines last year, and that proved itself over the course of the national tournament.
You lost a historic class last year. What is it for all of you to step up after seeing Hannah and Amanda and all of them graduate?
I would say for me it was a special class, the class I started with, and I'd say all of us have learned a lot from how they went through school here. And it's impossible shoes to fill in a lot of ways, so we're going to do the best we can to fill different roles. I don't doubt that we're going to have a strong team. It's just going to have to be a little different than it was last year, too.
You have a motto this year for as you guys go through it? Every year you have something that you kind of point to. What is it this year for you?
Yeah, we actually haven't finalized one yet, so they don't even know. But as Lee said, I mean, those were some special players there last year, and they made huge imprints within our program. But when you're a top program in the country, you go through that every year. You lose great players, whether it's Sarah Davis or Nora Ratu, Kelly Terry, whoever. It's our job as coaches to bring in some great players behind them, and we feel like we've done that with the current team that we have. So it's definitely going to be by committee. I mean, you don't lose an Amanda Kessel and Hannah Brandt and just expect other people to fill their shoes. But there's a couple forwards at this table, and Kate Schipper and Dani Cameranesi, who had great years last year and will continue to have a great year this year. And Lee's becoming more offensive. We have some freshmen that are going to take a nice step, and some returners as well. So it's going to be an exciting year that way.
How does the overall WCHA look to you?
Again, really strong. I mean, I think it keeps getting better and better each and every year. The coaching is in our league is second to none. I mean, our last place team last year has John Harrington as their coach, and at Mankato, and they're going to continue to get better and better. Nadine Muzzerall, my former assistant coach, is now at Ohio State, and they're looking for somebody to help turn that program around, and I think she'll do a great job. But I think Wisconsin is the team that probably lost the least. They have Clark and Pankowski back, Nurse and McKibben, and Renee Desbiens, who had an all-world kind of year last year in the nets. And so I think they're a team that will continue to be right there at the top. And North Dakota, Bemidji, those guys have had a ton of success here lately as well.
The goaltending for the first time in a few years, you have to replace your number 1. What's the plan to start the year?
Yeah, right now it's Sid Peters is going to have every opportunity to our starter. We have Serena D'Angelo, a freshman as well, who will push for that spot also. But Sid has been waiting patiently for 3 years. One was a redshirt year to fill this role, and already in practice you can see that she's better than she has been in the past. And I think a lot of it is simply just knowing that you've got a real opportunity to be the starter. I mean, let's face it, in the last 7 years, we had Nora Ratu and Amanda Levier, two of the best goalies in the country, in the world. And so for the first time in a long time, as you mentioned, we have a unproven goaltender starting, but we have all the confidence in the world in her. She was a U18 goalie for Team USA a few years ago and has had some great experiences that way.
Lee, with an inexperienced goaltender, does that put more pressure on the defensive side, maybe early in the season to prevent shots and just kind of clamp down on things?
I'd say I always feel like there's pressure on the defense, and I don't think that changes with who's in net. I know we trust Sid completely, and getting the chance here in practice to work with her and figure out what she needs from us so that we can give her her best shot, and what we need from her so that we can do our job the right way. So it's just been really fun to have that chance at practice to work with her.
You guys lost a talented defender, I believe, Simon Millen. She provided a lot of physical threat for your team as well, but you return you and also Sydney Baldwin, but you also have two talented freshmen. So can you speak a little bit to how they're doing and how you feel the Blue Lions coming along?
I'm really excited to see how they start this year. I think coming from high school and trying to learn defense, you feel like you were really good at defense and you have to learn a lot of things pretty quickly. I know I was a little overwhelmed at first, but they're really talented, smart D, and they're learning really quickly. So I'm excited to see how this game with the Whitecaps goes.
For everyone up there, I guess, very successful program, won back-to-back a couple times, but never won 3 in a row. Is that something you guys talk about, pressure, or is it just whatever happens, happens?
I don't think there is really any added pressure in that aspect. I really don't think it's on any of our minds at this point or at all. Like Coach said, we're just trying to be the best team that we can be this year and kind of prove ourselves that year or that way, because clearly there are some changes and we lost some important people, but we're not necessarily trying to fill the roles of their shoes. We're trying to fill them to the best of our ability and be the best team we can be and take it step by step and game by game. And as of right now, we're focusing on the Whitecaps game coming up.
How long did it take you guys to start to get back into the mold of defending or going after the third title after last year? How long did the title hangover last, so to speak, that you guys, before you got back and started working again?
It's kind of depending on what you feel is best for you. Some people take their skates off for a couple weeks, some people a month or two. We all did what we thought was best to improve ourselves over the summer, and I think it's been fun to get back on the ice as a team and really focus on this year. And I think last year's win is behind us, and we're focusing on the new team and everyone that we have.
Dani and Kate, can you guys speak to any of the new forwards, how you think they're progressing? I mean, obviously last year you guys were on pretty consistent lines throughout the year up until the end of the season. So now I know there'll probably be some shuffling going on. What do you see out of them so far, and what do you think their roles could be?
Maybe not seen, but in the beginning of the year, a lot of lines are shuffled around, trying to figure out what works and who works well together. But just all around, offensive and defensive, we have really great forwards coming in. Obviously, there are nerves, as there were, I think, for all of us sitting up here when we were freshmen, but they're already doing so great when they're nervous, so I'm really excited to see how well they do when they gain more confidence. We have really great players offensively and defensively, so this year will be new, but I think it will definitely be exciting.
Dani, with the type of season you had last year and the success that you had scoring, does that change anything this year for other teams trying to key in on you defensively?
I don't think it necessarily changes anything for me or for other teams, because there's we just have such a well-rounded team that you have to focus on everyone. You can't really just focus on one person. Last year, I guess if they tried keying in on Hannah Brandt, that opens up opportunities for other people like me and Sarah Potomatic and Kate Schipper and Kelly Panic, and I could honestly keep going and listing off our entire roster. So I don't think it changes anyone else's game plan or our own.
Coach, you're seven wins away from 300. What does that milestone mean for you?
Well, thanks for letting me know. It means I've been coaching for a while, and we've had some really good teams. It's starting my 10th season as the head coach and 17th overall. It's hard to believe I've been here that long, but we just recruit really, really good kids who happen to be good hockey players, and so I'm not surprised that there's a milestone ahead, but when I won my 200th game or my 100th game, I didn't know until somebody gave me a plaque or something afterwards that went in a little case. So I think Mark Johnson is real close to 400, so that's pretty impressive.
Coach talked about it a little bit, but obviously coming into every season, Wisconsin is big on the list, and you guys are almost always pitted up right against them. What's it like as players to have that rivalry always being strong, kind of always being a motivator heading into the season?
It's just a really exciting rivalry, and just the entire WCHA in itself have really competitive teams, and there's no games that you can take off, and there's always that excitement before each and every game. I think maybe against Wisconsin it's a little heightened, as I think the rivalry goes way back, probably before I was even born. But it's just the competitive nature, and both having like really great teams and great players, and playing against friends that we actually have on the other team. It's just an exciting game, and I think we all look forward to it, but all the other games are just as competitive, and I think you could say that we have a rivalry with probably each and every team in the WCHA.
Any other questions? All right.
Thank you.